A horrific night, guys. This is Epic Countdown, welcoming you to another epic video where we will recap the top 10 upcoming horror video games. Number 10. The Outlast Trials. The Outlast Trials is an upcoming first-person psychological horror survival video game, set to be released for PC in 2021. It is the third installment in the Outlast series, serving as a prequel to the first two games, and features test subjects in a mysterious Cold War experiment. The Outlast Trials can be played alone or with other players online. You'll have to survive the twisted, sadistic, and bizarre experiments of the Murkoff Corporation, alone or in a group of up to 4 players. Choose your team wisely and don't get too emotionally attached to them. Not everybody is strong enough to survive. Number 9. Sons of the Forest. The Sons of the Forest, sequel to the open-world horror adventure game The Forest, will similarly put you in the shoes of a survivor, desperately fighting for your life, being stranded in a forest plagued with man-eating savages, deadly wildlife, and unspeakable horrors. The Forest was a big success, receiving positive reviews and selling over 5 million copies during its first year of release. Judging from a few shots in the trailer, Sons of the Forest will be more team-focused than the predecessor. Whether this helps the feeling of isolation or worsens the anxiety of losing teammates remains to be seen. Number 8. System Shock 2020. After 2 decades, Night Dive Studios is rebooting and reimagining the original and very successful 1994 System Shock. In the new System Shock, which is set to be released in 2020 on the PC, Xbox One, and PS4, you are a hacker and the most notorious cyberspace thief in the corporate world. Caught during a risky break-in, you fall in a coma and awaken to the twisted aftermath of a terrible disaster. Once a prime corporate research facility, Citadel Station now teems with mindless cyborgs, robots, and terribly mutated beings, all programmed to serve a ruthless AI that leaves you with no time to think before it unleashes the first terror. Number 7. The Medium.
It all starts with a dead girl. A forest. The moon. Scent of pines. And then the gunshot.
The Medium is a psychological horror game played in third person as Marianne, a medium who can travel into the spirit realm. Her psychic abilities may be used against hostile forces and are recharged by interacting with energy spots called spirit wells. Discover a dark mystery only a medium can solve. The game will be released in Q4 2020 for PC and Xbox Series X, and will make players explore the real world and the spirit world at the same time, use Marianne's psychic abilities to solve puzzles spanning both worlds, uncover deeply disturbing secrets, and survive encounters with the Maw, a monster born from an unspeakable tragedy. Number 6. Resident Evil Village.
They're coming. Who is?
The next generation of survival horror rises in the form of Resident Evil Village, the 8th major entry in the Resident Evil series. The game will be released in 2021 on PC and the next generation consoles. With ultra-realistic graphics, powered by the RE engine, players fight for survival as danger lurks around every corner. Years after the tragic events of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, Ethan Winters is finally living in peace. However, Chris Redfield, the legendary hero from previous Resident Evil games, suddenly disrupts his life. throwing a devastated Ethan into a new and twisted nightmare in search of answers. Number 5. Little Nightmares 2. Little Nightmares 2 is a suspense adventure game set to be released in 2020 for PC, Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch and the next generation consoles in 2021. It is the sequel to the successful original Little Nightmares game and revolves around Mono, a young boy trapped in a world that has been distorted by the humming transmission of a distant tower. With Six, the girl in a yellow raincoat, as his guide, Mono sets out to discover the dark secrets of the signal tower and save Six from her terrible fate. But their journey will not be straightforward, as Mono and Six will face a gallery of new threats from the horrible residents of this world. Number 4. Senua Saga Hellblade 2. Senua Saga Hellblade 2 is one of the first titles confirmed for the Microsoft's upcoming Xbox Series X. The game is a sequel to Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, which followed the Celtic warrior as she battled her way into Viking Hell to rescue her dead lover's soul. The action of the sequel takes place in Iceland and will continue the well-received portrayal of Senua's psychosis, as well as more exploration into Norse and Celtic culture. The game looks visually stunning and disturbing at the same time, and shows off the power of the new Xbox Series X. I can't wait to experience it myself. Number 3. Ghostwire, Tokyo. Ghostwire Tokyo is an upcoming horror action-adventure game set to be released in 2021 for the PS5 and PC. The game is set in Japan, where nearly all of Tokyo's citizens have vanished mysteriously, and otherworldly spirits known as visitors have invaded the city. The player character's supernatural powers begin to manifest. Combat director Shinichiro Hara described the combat as karate meets magic, as the player's character utilizes hand movements inspired by Kujikiri hand gestures to cast spells. As the player combats the spirits haunting the city, he encounters a group wearing Hanya masks who may unveil the mystery behind the strange events in Tokyo. Number 2. Dying Light 2. Dying Light 2 is an open-world first-person action role-playing game set to be released for PC, PS4, Xbox One and the next-generation consoles. The game begins 15 years after the events of the original Dying Light game, starring a new protagonist named Aiden, who is equipped with various parkour skills. Wait, parkour doesn't quite scream horror, does it? Did I mention it's a post-apocalyptic, zombie fighting game? The game is set in The City, a massive urban open world that is 4 times bigger than in the original game. Players have to make different decisions that would fundamentally change the state of the game's world and how non-playable characters view Aiden. The consequences are far-reaching, with the player being able to bring prosperity to a faction, while completely destroying another settlement. Making certain decisions will open up or seal off areas in the city, encouraging players to complete multiple playthroughs. Oh crap! Zombies are approaching! Quick, click the subscribe button to save yourself. You only have 5 seconds. Phew! You made it, great job! On to the number 1 spot. Number 1. The Dark Pictures Anthology, Little Hope.
Into the center of town. the hell is this thing?
A warning, perhaps.
Get off of me! What more proof is needed that the devil walks among us in Little Hope?
The Dark Pictures anthology Little Hope is an interactive drama survival horror video game and the second of 8 planned installments in the Dark Pictures anthology series and the successor to Man of Medan. The game is set to be released for PC, PS4, and Xbox One on October 30th, 2020. Abandoned and all alone, 4 college students and their teacher become stranded in an isolated town miles from anywhere after their bus crashes in bad weather. Trapped by a mysterious fog in the town of Little Hope, they search desperately for a means of escape, whilst visions from the past haunt them from the shadows. Throughout the game, the player needs to choose different dialogue options, which will influence the course of the game. Depending on the choices of the players, all characters may die by the end of the story. It's your job to save them. There they are, the top 10 most horrific and disturbing upcoming video games. Let us know in the comments which horror game is your favorite and which game you are waiting for the most. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to not miss out on our future videos and to save yourself from future zombie attacks. And remember, stay on top.